So there's that moment when you're washing the dishes, right? Where it's like the world sort of slows down for a bit. Not quite stand still, but just seems to take a step back and relax. And the things you're doing are very repetitive and calming, and you're just making the world a slightly cleaner place, just fixing up a bit of the chaos in your world and stacking it neatly in the dish rack and those kind of things. And it can be really hard to find those moments and to really step into them and to enjoy them. And they're important to grab onto when you find them. And I think that's what this game is about. It's like, I mean, it doesn't really explain itself terribly well. There's some text that the developer has written about it and that, but it's yeah. You are the game idea is that you are a person who has been assigned the duty of washing the dishes, and that's what you're doing. And there's family chat on one side, and events that happen, and upgrades that you get, because it's a kind of a roguelite-ish simulation. But really, I think that's what it's reaching for, is that moment of comfort, as if the world has closed a little protective shell around you. It's just you and the gentle task in front of you and limited pressure, and you can just forget about everything else for a minute and enjoy that moment. At least that's what it was for me. Let's jump in and have a look at the gameplay, and then there's a little bit of critique that we can share afterwards. Not too much. I mean, this is a really well-polished game for its simplicity, and one I heartily recommend. It's called Foam Sweet Foam. It's by Barking Beagle Studios, and yeah, it's a very comfortable game. Let's jump in and I'll show you what it's about. So this is us. First important thing is that this is the pause button. This is the, I like that. So the washing up liquid is our pause, and it takes us to the options as well, where we can change the music level and the sound effects and that. Yeah, we can resume when we're ready. This is our gameplay window. We have a little family picture over here on the left. Doesn't do anything, but certain events occur that can add a few pictures here and there. And what happens is plates are slowly added to the stack of plates here, and we pick up a plate at a time. We pick up the sponge and we scrub the plate covered with soapy suds. We use the spray to clean all the soap off and replace it with the water droplets. Then we use the drying towel to dry the plate. Once we get rid of all the water droplets, then we put the plate in the stack and pick the next one up. And things slowly add to the stack. And every so often, some kind of event will happen, like a family event of some kind, that will change the game just a little bit, very, very subtly. Just things to show that life is occurring around us while we're here doing our little family task, relaxing task. And this kind of lo-fi music will play in the background. And yeah, that's the game in a nutshell. And every couple of plates we get an upgrade. Our sponge will work a bit better, or our drying cloth can work a little bit better. And that's it. That's the game. So let's resume, and I'll show you how it plays. There's a resume button. Right, so we pick up a plate. Then we grab our sponge, hold down the mouse button, it's just the left mouse button. We clean the plate until it shimmers like that. That tells us it's done. Then we grab the spray, rinse off all the soap until it shimmers. That's that done. We grab the drying cloth and we rub away these drops. The drying cloth is kind of the slowest to go at the beginning, so when the upgrades come through, I like to upgrade the drying cloth just to speed it up a little bit. As you can see, things happen in the background. It shimmers and it's done. And then really what we're waiting for is for the sort of the family events to occur. One should pop up soon. And those just tell us that life is happening in the background. Yeah, the basic storyline is that we're the sort of ascertained, ordained family dishwasher. And we're a little grieved about it. Right, a little furry friend. It lasted months, a grueling attrition war, each side trying to wear the other's defences down little by little. Soldiers fell, forts were breached. Eventually the parents waved the white flag, and now the family has gotten a dog. As per the peace treaty, you get to clean the bowl. So now dog poles get added to our stack of dishes, so it's not really much of a factor in the gameplay, but it's something. And we have this little text. Oh, let me maximize the screen. I forgot we could do that. Who got a puppy? I'm seeing photos all over the internet. I think it was Mom. We're the green text. When are you going to invite us over to check the new pup? I'm coming over right away. So yeah. Oh dear, I think we've got 2 sound effects happening at once here. Maybe if we can... Alright, I'm going to turn the music off because I think there's a bit of a bug there. It sounds like it's doubled up. So yeah, let's finish drying this plate. As you can see, the stack of plates is building up quite significantly, but I don't think there is any kind of limitation in it. And we have a 2 out of 65 here, so that's kind of the goal of plates that we're going for this washing up session, as it were. I've never actually reached the end of it on this so far, so I don't know if there is any kind of reward or anything from when you get to the end. Oh, we got another event. A new connection. Do you feel your heart flutter? Love is in the air. Someone has found their special other, their soulmate. That one person in the entire world with whom a connection is weaved, far deeper and far more meaningful than any other. Well, at least until they break up. Until then, there's going to be a few more plates to watch. So somebody in the family has a partner over. Wow, your new BF is amazing little cuz. Knows how to fix tables and everything. Don't know what we would have done without them. They didn't want to impress us by helping wash the dishes. Clearly not a great date. Could at least have someone to help dry. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this matches your kind of dish drying mechanism. But in my place, we have a double sink. So I fill one sink with soapy water. Oh, and we get these upgrades. Through the efforts of your scrubbing, you become more powerful. Now choose which form your new strength shall take. And I like to choose the drying towel because it is the longest one. Oh, there's a romance plate. Yeah, so I have a double sink. So I fill the one sink with soapy water, and another event to interrupt the chatter. How rare is it to sleep well, to fall into the night's embrace, typo, smoothly, and as soon as you close your eyes, to lay without interruption, to wake up exactly when it feels right, to be refreshed and ready to tackle the world. Dishes be warned, today you'll wash like no one has ever washed before. Every tool's efficiency is increased, so this is a really nice event to happen, just speeds things up. Who turned off all the lights tonight? I slept amazing. I think the power just went down. We've got to do that again. Did I clean? There we go. Yeah, so I put the plates in the sink filled with soapy water. So a lot of the sort of the cleaning effort is kind of done with the power of, what would you call it? Chemical reactions and the heat, that kind of thing, doing a lot of the cleaning. And I find that makes things a lot easier. So I put them in the soapy water, leave them there to soak for a little while, move them across to the other one once I finish scrubbing them, then rinse them in the other sink, and then I don't dry them. I just put them in a rack after rinsing them off, and I let them drip dry, and I've never had an issue with that. I don't know. Do you feel compelled to dry them? I know a lot of people do. So your mailbox is overflowing with leaflets, pamphlets, and other garbage lits. While throwing them out, however, you notice a couple of drying cloths being advertised. Considering your old rag, it might be time to buy the big one that takes up an entire page, or the fluffy one that made the leaflet itself shrivel in dryness. I chose the fluffy one last time. Let me try choosing the big one. How's the new cloth? Much better than the last one, although I think it's wearing quite fast. Yes, I never trust those ads in the mailbox. It feels very scammy. Alright, so that's much the same conversation I had with the other one. I think this, rather than drying faster, just dries more surface area, so a wider number of the drops are affected at the same time, rather than each drop drying quicker, which is fine. Yeah, so yeah, consider if you wash the dishes any better way if it's important that something specifically is done in your process. I've always wanted one of those cupboards that act as the drying area, because once they're dried in the drying area over time, I then have to move them back to the cupboards. But I think in Northern Europe in particular, their cupboards double as a drying area, so it's open at the bottom so the water can fall out, but it's still sort of closed on the sides and top, so the dishes are protected in them. I'd like that. That's pretty cool. The neighbour has come by, grimacing at the sorry state of your sponge. Oh my dear, you must simply buy the Scroob Super Scrubbing Sponge. It is positively marvellous. Trouble is, your in-laws have already suggested the biggest big sponge for big scrubs. The neighbour is right strength is king, or the in-laws are right size is queen. I am a little annoyed at the gendered speech, but let's go with the strength is king. Are you enjoying your new sponge? Yes, but I don't know how long it will last. Doesn't seem very durable. I don't know if that means that the upgrades actually have a time limit. I'm sure it will, you're just not used to it yet. It does feel like I'm drying the plates a little bit quicker, which is nice. And you know what? I'm actually going to end there. And I like the fact that it's gotten dark outside. And like I said, I don't know if there's a time limit or a stack limit. I noticed the plates sort of stacking in front of themselves at one point while I was playing this earlier. But yeah, let's end there. That's the gameplay. I think we've all seen how it goes. And the pictures change as events happen. If your family gets a baby, a little baby picture appears there and all those kinds of things. Yeah, so let's reload just so that goes away. And yeah, if you're just here to see the gameplay, then I hope this has convinced you to come play it, because this is a game that is a little moment of relaxation. And yeah, I think the world could do with that, as I've said before, in the more wholesome, relaxing games that I've played. And thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, because that affects the engagement for me, helps boost my channel, and it affects it for you because it trains YouTube into the kind of videos you want to see, the videos that you engage with. And this is a gaming video, so YouTube will show you more gaming videos, and as you're here watching a gaming video, hopefully that's what you want. So, you know, hit those engagement mechanisms if you want to improve your YouTube experience. And thank you for watching. If you, however, are staying for the critique, well, let's talk about it for a moment. There isn't actually really I can critique much about it. The UI is great. I found the controls effective to use. It could have done with a little bit of a tutorial. That might have been an idea. I fiddled around with it a little bit before I understood how all the mechanisms worked. But once I got the hang of it, it was fine. The sounds are great, although there was that bug where it was playing two different tunes at once. But other than that, the sounds are great, very cool, very chilled, very relaxing. One thing I was thinking about is that we could have added a middle layer of background sound. So you have the music, the actual active sounds of the things that we're doing, and then maybe some background sound of like the family talking in the background as if they're still finishing off with dinner, and you've got your back to them maybe in the next room while you're washing the dishes, and so you still have that sound of laughter and chatter and things like that as everybody's just enjoying their post-meal relaxation and fullness of the food. I think that might be what the game is reaching for, so that might be something to consider adding if the dev wants to add something more to this game to expand it out. Yeah, so I mean that's it for the sounds. It's obviously not something that's necessary. It's just a thought that popped into my head. The art still absolutely fantastic. Everything looks good. I love the changing of the time. I love the pictures. I love the way the gameplay moves. I love the sort of white shimmer across the plate as it's done. So yeah, the art is all 100% really. Loved it for the game design and the gameplay mechanics, the game simplicity. Yeah, good art. Which brings us to the gameplay. And as I mentioned in the previous video I did, you need to kind of have almost a contract with the player to say this is how this game is going to work. Players get annoyed if they think the game is going to work this way and the game works a slightly different way, and even if they like that different way, they'll be mad because it wasn't what they came into it expecting. So the idea to kind of preemptively say this is where this game is going. These are kind of what your goals are going to be. These are your limitations. Either here is this time limit, or there is no time limit. I mean, you might say, oh, well, if there's no time limit, then I don't need to tell them that they're never going to hit the limit. But they want to know. Yeah, the player wants to know what they're getting into. So being maybe a little bit more obvious about how the gameplay mechanics are constraining you and where the game is going, and kind of what type of game is going to be. Are you going to have to do this in a certain amount of time, or is this purely about relaxation? Making that a bit more obvious at the beginning, perhaps in the tutorial, because it does need a bit of a tutorial mechanism. That might be an idea. And along those lines, what I was thinking about in terms of the gameplay mechanics is that there should be shorter washing periods, but then you cycle through the washing periods as a sort of an infinite sandbox. So you have 10 plates to finish for dinner, or if the baby event occurred, so you have 13 plates because 3 of them are baby plates, or if there's a dog, there's now 14 plates because one of them is the dog bowl, that kind of thing. So you just keep going through this day, and only at the end of the day does the event for the next day and the upgrade event trigger. And as you're washing the plates, it sort of slowly gets darker outside, maybe like per plate or something like that. So after 10 plates, it's dark outside, and then once you finish the 15 plates, the page changes, and then it's the next evening, and you've just had dinner, and the next washing up cycle occurs. I mean, that feels to me like it would be a little bit more comfortable. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. Really, it's not that I'm going the game is bad because it doesn't have that. It's just that feels to me like it would be a bit more understandable as a player to move into. I don't know. But I'm not saying you should change this to make a better game. I'm just saying this is how it would feel more comfortable to me. Anyway, the point is that I really like this game. I think it's a very, very positive game, a very, very wholesome, comforting, comfortable game to play, and there's a lot you can do with it. And I hope the dev continues working on this game, or possibly creates a version 2 with even more depth and more layers to it, but continues to make wholesome, comfortable games, because the world needs more than those. And really, that's all the critique I have, and that's all of it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this game, and I hope to see you in the next video. So thank you, and goodbye.